ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of Pearls of Union. Today, we're guesting another pearl in this union, Mr. Naim Maadad, the founder and CEO of Gates Hospitality. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, I'm very well.
Good morning. How has your day been?
The day is only young, still long.
At the restaurant?
It's actually quite nice to see a lot of business our way this hour of the morning. So it's I'm always happy when the restaurants are doing well.
Of course. So, Mr. Naim, tell us more about you, your educational journey. How did you get to this position today?
Look, in Australia, was home for me. I was studying economics and law. I was in my third year, and one fine day I decided that this is not for me. I don't want to become a politician. It's not my nature. I packed up everything and I went home, and I told Mum at the time, I said, I'm not actually continuing. She said, what are you talking about? 3 years, you have 1 year left and you're done. So I stopped. And the real reason is, in the family back in Australia, we've always had gastropubs and restaurants and bars, which I've always kind of helped in. So I've always liked the industry. So that's how the industry started. But then I continued on doing my education. I did my master's in business education, and focusing on life journeys and focusing on one-time job per life, because I was based in Japan for a while, and most Japanese people get one job for their life cycle. So they start with a company and they finish with the same company, they retire. So I specialized in that, and I was trying to understand why the Japanese do that and not the rest of the world. And it's very interesting, actually. And that's when I started saying hospitality really is a place where you meet many people from all walks of life, from all different nationalities. And the beauty about hospitality, no matter where you are in the world, Asia, Middle East, Africa, continents, hospitality is actually a business that is core to the economy.
That's amazing. So, what are some of the exceptional experiences you went through throughout your journey? Maybe tell us, what did you find out about the Japanese people?
Honestly, I'm often asked, if you are to retire eventually in life, I'm too young to retire now, just making that very clear. Where would you retire? And Japan would be a place where I'd like to retire, for the simple fact is that they appreciate life at a fundamental level. I mean, they celebrate cherry blossom. When the cherry blossom trees, they celebrate that. We take a picture. Other continents, they respect food. They have human respect as well, particularly for the elder. So I've learned a lot in Japan for self-respect and community respect, and the education as well. So that's an experience. I lived in Thailand for 4 years as well, so it was a very different experience. Obviously, Australia is home where I grew up and seen life. So my experiences are very varied. And if you take every continent, Australia, UAE, or Middle East, Asia, very different experiences. So you combine all of those, and this is a result.
That's amazing. That's such a pretty result. Thank you so much for telling us about your journey. Throughout your journey as well, did you develop any skills or values that you strive to uphold today?
Oh, it's many. I mean, that's the beauty of life, right? Your experiences shape you as an individual.
Oh.
And in my education, I've always, decided to look at after three things. One is wellness. I mean, holistic wellness, and I'm not talking about just well-being, but I think one thing with education is that we don't get educated from a young age enough about our bodies. I think that we should really focus on those, because if we are well, then we perform better. So wellness education for me is incredibly important. Two, human capital is very much important. People, because everyone has a journey, everyone has a story, everyone has a family. So it's getting to understand that. And then last but not least, it's making sure that we understand what a business is set out to be, the purpose of every business. Once you define the purpose of a business, it becomes so easy to navigate towards your objectives. But if you don't have a right direction, then you keep going all over the place. So for me, it's about clarity. And I am, the busier I am, the slower I become, because I like to slow down and really analyze what needs to happen and take it from there.
Since you mentioned family, who is someone that supported you throughout this journey?
It's a long list, and I have people that aren't actually family, that become family through my journey in life. Again, 26 years of hotel world before starting Gates. So there's been a lot of GMs, a lot of HR individuals who have really believed in my ability, in my contribution to the industry, and have supported me. My MBA was actually through one of my workplaces, and then my doctorate was through my workplaces. So it's incredible that people believe in you, support you, and see the potential in you. Back to your question. So one of my uncles, Richard, is probably one of the main support that's been in my career. My father passed away a week before I was born. So Richard played the father role, as well as the uncle, as well as the educator and the support. So he's been my rock.
That's an amazing uncle, I'd say. Thanks to your uncle on camera. So, Mr. Naim, can you tell us more about the vision behind Gates Hospitality, and when did it start? When did the idea pop up in your head, and why the UAE?
So many questions.
Yeah, I'm really curious.
I was in Japan. I was working in a very large establishment, hotel group. A friend of mine called me and he says, "Don't say yes or no, but I'd like you to have a look at this email." We're talking about 1998. So going back in years, right? He says, "Check your email." So to download something on email, then it would take half an hour to download a picture. And sure enough, I downloaded that email, and the picture that came on my screen was Burj Al Arab. So he was the GM of the Burj Al Arab Hotel, and he wanted me to join him. So called him back. I said, "Sure, I'm coming to meet you." So I came over to meet him, and before I had left, he's offered me a contract as his number 2 in the hotel to do the opening. Now you must understand that back in 1998, the city was very different. The UAE was very different. The hospitality maturity was very different. So I saw a lot of opportunities, and I thought, wow, with my experience in Asia, with my experience in Japan, my experience in Australia, I can actually bring a lot at a very fast pace. So I did the opening with the Burj Al Arab, with the Jumeirah group, and really saw a lot of opportunities in the marketplace that I thought, this is like a flower. It's closed. It's about to open up, and I want to be part of that growth and that opening.
That's amazing. And then you started Gates Hospitality in 2010.
Gates Hospitality was born in 2010, and really the focus in Gates is 3 different silos. 1 is food and beverage, 2 is resorts and hotels, and 3 is holistic wellness. And if you analyze why these 3 silos, that's really my 26 years experience in hotels. So I brought all of that into Gates, and I thought, instead of working for large international groups, let me do it for myself. And again, 2010, if you take the city today and the country 15, 16 years ago, the country was very different. So our timing was incredible.
Of course, that's amazing. Can you tell me more about the 11 branches that you have in today, and what services do you offer among them?
Sure. So look, our focus from the onset has always been on communities. So unlike many other brands where we have gone to Europe or Asia and brought brands, no, we've established our own brands. And I think that's very powerful, because we understand the demographies, we understand the people that reside here, we understand their income, their behavior, the location of workplace and accommodation. So we've developed these businesses that are community-centric. And in times where you take COVID, you take all the challenging times, these people are still in the country. They still eat and drink and consume. So our strategy from 2010 until today has been very successful because, like I started by saying earlier, we've set out to do something with very clear roadmap and a very defined purpose, and that is community service provision. So you have Reform Social and Grill, which is again one of the institutions. If you take the time out in the What's On magazines, they call it an institution. Why is that? It's simply because it talks to communities. If you come early in the morning, you see lots of people, you see prams, you see families, you see kids. And lunchtime, you see a lot of business people, you see a lot of people working away from home on their laptops. In the evening, you see a lot of diners having an amazing meal and enjoying the community. And obviously with our outside garden space, you feel like you could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's amazing. But since hospitality in the UAE, especially in Dubai, is a really competitive sector, so what differs your hospitality company other than others in Dubai right now?
So look, organizational brand pillars are very important for me, and we go by 4. So engage, belong, enrich, innovate. So if you take these 4 brand pillars, really, if you analyze them, we don't talk about finance. Everybody wants to engage. Everybody wants to belong. Everybody has a keychain or a phone that has a logo on it. So we all follow brands that we like. So we thought Gates as an entity needs to become one of those brands. So it's part of your lifetime. It's part of your habits. It's not a one-off. We have people that go to Ultra Brasserie or Vista Desert or Papa Fuku twice a week, 3 times a week, and that's because the value, the variety, consistency is there. Furthermore, I think what's very important is all of the brands are authentic. So we're not trying to do something that we're not. If we say we are Asian, we do Asian food. We don't have shisha in Asian. We don't have other stuff. So we're very true to our brands and very clear on the business proposal.
Let's say you personalize the experience of your customers for everyday life.
Very much so.
That's amazing. So where does the name, Gates come from?
Nothing to do with Bill. Gates is when we're brainstorming about what do we call this, every time you open a window or a gate, there's opportunities. So we thought, let's call it Gates, because every time you open the gates, there's an opportunity, and that's why I'm the gate opener. It's you open, and that's Gates came from that, and it's it's a 5 letters. It's easy enough to remember. Any country can pronounce it. Any language can actually say it without difficulties, and it's a name that actually people can remember easily as well.
Yeah. Are you opening any gates soon, or let's say expanding soon in the UAE or globally?
Expansion continues, but again, unlike many other entities, for me, it's not about growing. It's about growing in the right time in a sustainable environment. And longevity. We have zero interest in just growing for the sake of growing. Unless a business location makes sense, unless the community is set, unless a neighborhood's set, there's no need. You see so many openings and closures because people look at food and beverage particularly, and they think it's an industry that's very easy to get in, get out. If you open a cafe or a restaurant or a bar at 7 o'clock in the morning, you've started work at 4 o'clock. So people don't see those difficulties that actually go. And the margins in the industry today are very, very thin. So really, you need to be very much spot on. Otherwise, you're competing with many other brands. You have rents that are excessive. You have a payroll that's very excessive. You have cost of goods that is also commanding. So you need to be very careful. Otherwise, your P&L very quickly will lose the P part, which is a profit. You'll end up with an L.
You're going to lose it, yeah. We hope not.
No, absolutely not. That's my job in life.
So since you mentioned that it's not an easy sector or an easy way to go to, as you mentioned, what are some of the challenges you're facing today in this industry and how are you facing them?
Challenges are many, but I think we don't approach any business with the challenges. We approach with the opportunities. But specifically on the question that you've posed at me, I think challenge has always been the human capital. Because don't forget, in Gates today, we have 47 nationalities. And these 47 nationalities bring along 47 cultures. So, when you say white, there's many different shades of white. When you say rice, many different recipes. So it means a lot of training. It means a lot of engagement. And it means making sure that everyone understands specifics across the board. So human capital is one. The second one is you're competing with a lot of new openings, and human beings, we all want to see the new stuff. We all, not forgetting the city. If you take the population in the city of Dubai, for example, we're 4 million people. So we're still a reasonably small headcount, human capital, amount of restaurants. And then last but not least, I think for us, the biggest challenge is landlords and the expectation they have when it comes to rental income.
Of course. But so far, you're doing really amazing. That's well done.
Because I have a very strong opinion, and like I said, it's not about opening restaurants. It's about making sure before you open, before you sign your agreements, before you sign your lease, if it doesn't make sense, walk away. There's no need to commit and then hope for the best.
Of course. Thank you so much, Mr. Naim, for this actually valuable information that you're giving us today about yourself and the journey as well. To conclude, do you have any advice for the younger generations who are interested in hospitality sectors?
Biggest advice is to really make sure we remind people what hospitality is, because the young generation today, Gen Z, Gen X, all of these gens, found the hospitality very challenging. And our job, my role is, I'm always speaking about making sure people understand that hospitality entails fashion, entails luxury, entails travel, and you're always working in amazing locations. Ultimately, nobody comes out to a hotel or a restaurant to have a bad experience. So our jobs is to orchestrate amazing experiences. So I strongly encourage people to enter the hospitality, enter with a clear vision, and make sure that they evolve, grow, and make sure that they grow through the ladder. And it's a very rewarding industry. You can have a job in any country you land, and you are welcomed with open arms, because globally, hospitality is welcome.
That's amazing. Mr. Naim, since you started your journey from the UAE like really long ago, do you have a word or a message that you'd like to say to the UAE itself or the leaders of it?
Look, the message is very clear. And we're very fortunate because we conduct business in central London, in Australia, in Oman, and the UAE. And I always, as a human, I always compare how we conduct business. The UAE as a destination, you are encouraged to do business. You are supported to do business. You are given many opportunities. And I think for those who have the right business opportunities, business minds, you're always facilitated to achieve and go further with a very clear support mechanism and making sure that your journey is supported by financial institutions, by municipal organizations, and every other stakeholder that is required. The message is very clear. We're great because, again, success of one is a success of everybody. The safety of one is a safety for everybody. And I think unity, what is really proven to be very strong among the community, whether you come from any part of the world, we're all equal. And I think what's very essential is we all feel safe, we all feel welcomed, and harmony is really the key of what we do. So grateful for the leadership, grateful for the clarity on life, and grateful for the safety that we feel and embrace daily.
Of course. Thank you so much for having us today, Mr. Naim. It was such an inspiring journey that you took us on. Today, our audiences, we've looked into one of the biggest hospitality organizations in the UAE. I'm really thankful for having us today, and we'll see you on the next episode.